Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you today that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and it's going to be one of those rare videos of mine that intersects two subjects or explores the point where they intersect. Those subjects are, in a nutshell, medical necessity and stalking. And this will actually be, this is kind of funny as an aside, this will be my third take on this video. Usually I just get it on the first try, but I ended up having to do a whole factory reset on my phone, so maybe that's a harbinger of the content I'm about to share with you. I'm going to get right into it. Medical necessity. What do I mean by that? I mean, well, doctors in America, I know the most about this country because I've lived here most of my life, but I've lived in other countries too, and I know that customs are different everywhere. But especially in America, medical doctors are required by the Medical Association and by law to take what's called a Hippocratic Oath. That is an oath where they swear basically to do no harm to their patients. It really is that simple, but they're all required to do this, so it's not confusing or surprising to any of them. The ethical question, the ethical concern or opportunities there are, I should say, in their profession, in the course of their work. So I'm going to tell a story. I've been telling some true stories in my last few videos, and here's another one. I was long time ago, maybe over 20 years ago, I was with a partner, living with a person. So I know her very well. At the time I knew her, and she was beautiful, a beautiful woman, and she had a problem with her body image. And this is kind of common, but her case was kind of unique. She had an experience when she was younger in school. She played basketball in school and had her sports bra snap during a game, and it affected her so profoundly that throughout her adult life, she carried this anxiety and embarrassment about her chest wherever she went. And so when I knew her, this was, many years after she was out of school, she had gone to a doctor several times and been rejected for breast reduction surgery. Well, some people need it, some people don't. And here's, how it connects with the subject, the first subject. Medical necessity is something that is going to help the person. Now, if the person doesn't have, a crippling back problem because of some, deformity or weight problem, there's really no medical call for certain types of surgery, especially when they're not cosmetic per se. So there's a lot of judgment, and that's the point of the oath. That's the point of the training. And unfortunately, our entire medical system is very commercial. It's highly commercialized. Doctors and hospitals all have bills to pay, of course. So there's this constant temptation by medical professionals to, perhaps err on near the line or a little over the line or in the gray area when it comes to helping versus making money. And sadly, some of them make the wrong choice. It happens in every business. So what do you do with these people? What do you do with doctors who perform malpractice? We have a lot of, words for various crimes. Malpractice is one of them. So is there an opportunity to reform these doctors? Well, if you ask me, no, because they are obviously educated. They're trained. They even swore an oath in front of an audience, a legal binding oath as an adult to do no harm. They have been entrusted with knowledge and training by the community. And some of these people, I mean, they're not going to be reformed. They already knew it was wrong. They already knew. So anyway, this person I was with who kept asking for breast reduction surgery eventually got it. She was approved finally by some doctor, I don't know, and he cut her breasts off. So she didn't have a weight problem, and that's the way it goes. And it was a personal image problem is what it was, and there was no call for it. But I'm almost at 5 minutes, so I'm going to bring into the mix my second subject, which is stalking. These may seem wildly separate and different subjects, but I'm going to try to connect them, and that's the fun of these. So stalking is when somebody's given attention to somebody who doesn't want it, hasn't consented to it, isn't aware of it. I think we all know what the word means when somebody's not welcome and they're pursuing someone or observing them, recording them, or even worse, sometimes it escalates, and this is when it gets really scary, when a stalker takes it past stalking into the realm of interacting. So what do they all have in common? What do stalkers all have in common? Throughout history, every single stalker has one particular trait that you can count on, actually, and that is they have this idea that they're sharing an experience with somebody when they're not. It's kind of that simple. They just have this challenge, this inability to understand that the other person isn't having an experience with them. They feel this, I think the stalker feels like when they're watching somebody or participating in a one-sided way without knowledge or consent, that they're actually building something. They're creating a future or a relationship or having a mutual friendship, but it's not. That's the problem. There's no consent, and sometimes there isn't even awareness. And I hate to say it, but it's become so common for people to make it the other person's problem. Like, in general, it's more common to find that mentality. It's really sad and scary that people don't care about even asking for consent or checking to see if there is consent. It doesn't have to be expressed. I mean, it can be implied, but it's the other person's problem, right? If we're having an experience with them and they haven't, taken the steps to become aware of it, well, wait a minute. That's a real dangerous place to be, because you better hope nobody can call you on it. I mean, dang. Anyway, where do these two subjects intersect? I like to think that different behavior types, such as stalking, such as medical talent, and there are absolutely talented medical people out there. There is hereditary, inborn talent that comes from generations of doctors, and these things happen. And I think that there are personality types and characteristics in every profession. I think that you're going to find murderers in every group of people. I think you're going to find thieves, liars, cheats. Not that that's what everybody does. Definitely not what everybody does. I like to think that people are very good people for the most part. Most people are very, very good. Sometimes they're victims of circumstances. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're predators. Sometimes they abuse their power. Sometimes they abuse their opportunity. Sometimes they don't even care. They just stopped caring at some point. And I can't explain it, but there is a point where you got to react. You have to defend yourself, or to, press charges, such as they are, such as the system is. What do you do? I don't know. I think that there's doctors that stalk. I think that there's doctors that didn't grow up right, or whatever their reasons are. There's a point where you just can't really worry so much about why they're doing it anymore, and you have to fix the problem, because that's a big, big problem. A doctor who has power and respect, and who is also doing some untoward stuff that is harming people, that, if you ask me, is should be one of the absolute highest targets and priorities for legitimate law enforcement. Anyway, that's my attempt at a connection. It's kind of a downer, kind of a bummer of a video. I kept it under 10 minutes, so maybe my next one will be more upbeat, but can't all be good news, can it? If you have questions or comments, reach out to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Have a great day.